Hello, Dan back here with Brown Liquor Review number 8. I wanted to switch gears tonight and talk a little bit about Scotch. And I think that we'll be talking about Scotch for the next few reviews. And I bought this one in preparation for a very good friend coming to town. And because he loves peated whiskey, and this was a kind of hard to get expression. It's Ardbeg Auriverdes at 49.9% ABV. I think that would put the proof at about 99.8, or in other words, a proof of about 100. So like I said, he loves peat, and this one is supposed to be somewhat of a peat bomb compared to other single malts. And I love Ardbeg 10, and I love Ardbeg Ugi Dal, and Ardbeg Corryvreckan, which all of those I hope to talk about in the future. But for now, we're going to talk about this one in particular. This one's pretty cool. I mean, I like the fact that what they did was they actually they took the cask lids, I guess is what you call them, and they charred them very much. And so that's going to add a little bit more of that oak flavor to it. It's going to add a little bit more of that cocoa kind of a flair to it. At least that's what they say on the back of the label here. So, let me talk about this one a little bit. This one has received mixed reviews, to say the least, and I just wanted to give my take on it. So, what we have here on the nose is I could easily just say it smells like peat, and it does. It smells like Isla peat, but it is much more than that. It really is. When I was in Paris recently, one of the great things that we were eating on a regular basis was charcuterie, different kinds of dry aged cured meat, whether it was saucisson or other kinds, whether it was beef or pork or whatever. The French know how to do pretty much everything the way that they should be done. And I remember thinking while we were there, wow, you know what, this tastes, or this smells like a really nice Isla whiskey. And so as I was smelling this one, it kind of brought back memories of some of the charcuterie and fromage plates that we had. And so it was, a real eye opener. And that's kind of the fun thing about whiskey. If you continue to taste things other than whiskey, you're going to end up being like, hey, that kind of reminds me of a certain kind of whiskey. And that's why it's kind of fun to have, sweet treats, or sometimes you'll have barbecue, or all kinds of different things that will just remind you of your experience while tasting these. So on the nose, I get cured meat. I get the iodine, of course, from the peat. This one's got a little bit of the maritime kind of smells. So you get a little bit of seashore and a little bit of seaweed salad. That kind of reminds me of that. And so what goes along with seaweed salad is sesame seed oil. And since they did char the I'm going to call them the lids, but I don't know as if that's the correct terminology. The lids of the barrels. So you do get that fresh vanilla smell. And something else that's really cool is that it reminds me of the carrots that my dad cooks. They're so sweet. And he claims that he doesn't put anything in them, but I just don't know. I think he's like holding out a little bit there. On the taste, it's sweet. The peat in it is sweet, okay? But it also reminds me of a barbecue. So there's a savory component as well. It's really good. There's a little bit of a ginger heat to it. And on the finish, you kind of get that ginger beer kind of finish, which is really pretty good. Really good. This doesn't have an age statement on it. I don't know how old it is. Of course, it's probably pretty young. So I get a little bit of spirity to it. It's dry. It's pretty dry. And that could be from the charring of the oak. But it has that ginger ale finish, a little bit of citrus on the finish, and a little bit of cocoa. And I would actually go as soft as like milk chocolate cocoa. Okay. One of the things that I've mentioned in the past is that I'd like to do a mini slurp, and I'll demonstrate that for you. So it's the kind of kissing motion, the one that drives my wife nuts. So okay, and with the bourbons, I usually get a big blast of confectionery sugar. With this one, it is pretty mild, and you know, I'm not sure where that sugar feeling or sensation comes from. I think from bourbon, it's usually the amount of corn sugar that is in the mash bill, but this one is all barley, of course, so I'm guessing that it actually comes from the barley sugars. Alright, so overall, compared to other Ardbegs, it is pretty light comparatively to Ardbeg, even Ardbeg 10. And of course Ugedal, which is basically the cast strength version, which is pretty delicious. The whole Ardbeg experience is just not in here. And like I said, for 49.9%, you know, the experience just kind of falls flat a little bit with this one. And you know, that's just the way it is. This is a special release Ardbeg. Usually they come out with one every single year, and last year was this one. And it's pretty good. It's, you know, I mean, it's Ardbeg, and I would suggest that you try Ardbeg, but I would not suggest that you try this one. This one is about $30 more than the 10-year-old expression, and it's even $15 more than the Ugedal expression. And with that said, you also might not be able to find this anymore, which is an important thing for me. So, with all that said, I would give this malt a score of 84, which is kind of like a B minus. And you know, I would recommend going for a different Ardbeg. Ardbeg is a really great brand, but I would not recommend that you go for this one. Okay. So once again, this is Dan here with Brown Liquor Review number 8. I'll be back soon with another Scotch review, I think. And I hope that you'll enjoy it. So please like, comment, even subscribe if you want to. And until then, I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you soon.